Stop scrolling, Lee. This was sent to you. A new chapter is beginning, and your heart already knows it. Do not rush past this moment. Do not treat it like one more thing on a screen. Just for a few seconds, stay here. Feel the weight of your phone in your hand. Notice the soft glow of the screen on your face. Notice the air around your chest. Notice how your breath is moving, even if it feels small. Something inside you paused for a reason. Breathe, right here. This is not about fear. This is not about pressure. This is not a message telling you that you must change everything in one day. It is softer than that. It is a small knock on the door of your heart. It is life saying, come back to yourself for a moment. Listen, something is shifting. Maybe this found you because you've been feeling tired in a way sleep does not fully fix. Maybe this found you because you have been smiling on the outside, but quietly asking inside, when will things feel different for me? Maybe this found you because a part of you knows you cannot keep living from the same old fear, the same old worry, the same old story. Pause for 10 seconds. Not to think, not to solve, just to breathe. My dear, sometimes life does not speak in thunder. Sometimes life speaks through a quiet pause, a message, a feeling, a sentence that touches your heart at the exact time you need it. You may not know why you are here yet, but something in you understands. Your soul knows when a door is opening, even before your mind can see it. You may have been asking for a sign, not always with words. Maybe you asked through your tears. Maybe you asked through the long silence before sleep. Maybe you asked while walking through the day, doing what needed to be done, while secretly wondering if life had forgotten you. It has not. Life has not forgotten you. Love has not forgotten you. Your good has not passed you by. This moment is here to remind you that you are still being guided. Even when the road feels slow, even when nothing outside looks new yet, even when you cannot see the next step clearly. A new chapter can begin quietly. It can begin with one breath, one pause, one honest moment where you say, I cannot keep carrying myself the old way. That is enough. You do not have to become a new person by force. You do not have to fix your whole life tonight. You do not have to understand every reason for every delay, every ending, every closed door, every heavy season. You only need to become willing to soften, willing to listen, willing to stop fighting the very change your heart has been praying for. I am safe in this moment. I am ready to hear what my heart needs. Let those words be simple. Do not try to make them perfect. Just let them land somewhere inside you. There is a doorway in this moment. You may not see it with your eyes, but you can feel it. It is the space between who you have been and who you are becoming. It is the quiet place where the old way starts to lose its power. It is the small opening where peace enters. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is not here to scare you. It is here to invite you. Step closer, softly. The life you have known may not be wrong, but some parts of it may be finished. Some habits may have taught you all they could teach. Some fears may have kept you safe once, but now they only keep you small. Some thoughts may feel familiar, but familiar does not always mean true. And sometimes the reason you feel restless is not because you are lost. It is because your spirit is ready to move. You are not here by accident. Something in this message has reached for something in you. Maybe it reached the part that still believes in good things, even after disappointment. Maybe it reached the part that is ready to stop chasing what does not feel peaceful. Maybe it reached the part that wants to trust life again, but needs a gentle hand to hold while doing it. My dear, you are allowed to need that gentleness. You are allowed to begin slowly. You are allowed to not have all the answers. You are allowed to be both tired and ready. The door of a new chapter does not always open with a loud sound. Sometimes it opens when you finally stop pretending you are fine. Sometimes it opens when you admit that your heart needs more love, more rest, more truth, more peace. Sometimes it opens when you decide that your old pain will not be the ruler of your future. This is that kind of moment. Breathe again. Feel your hand. Feel your body. Feel this small pause holding you. You do not have to run into the new chapter. You can stand at the doorway and let your heart get used to the light. You can say, I am willing. You can say, I am listening. You can say, life, show me the next loving step. You do not need the whole map. You only need the next soft yes. Maybe this found you because your soul is tired of noise. Maybe this found you because you have been giving your energy to things that do not feed your peace. Maybe this found you because the next version of you is not asking for more struggle. It is asking for more trust. The screen is still in your hand. The world may still be moving around you, but inside, something can become still. And in that stillness, you may begin to feel it, the gentle truth that life is not done with you. Your story is not finished. The best of you has not been lost. The love you need is not out of reach. The peace you want is not impossible. This was sent to you as a pause, a holy pause, a loving pause, a small space where you can stop pushing and start hearing. You are safe in this pause. You are not behind in this pause. You are being called home to yourself in this pause. And a new chapter is beginning, not because you have forced it, but because something inside you is finally ready to open. The old chapter does not always close because something bad happened. Sometimes it closes because your soul has grown too large for the old room. Sometimes it closes because the same thoughts, the same patterns, and the same fears no longer fit the person you are becoming. Sometimes it closes because life is gently taking the chalk from your hand and saying, you do not have to keep writing the same sentence anymore. You may have written many old sentences inside your mind. I am not ready. I always lose what I love. Things never work out for me. I have to do everything alone. I must hold everything together. I cannot trust life. And maybe you did not choose those words on purpose. Maybe you learned them when you were hurting. Maybe you wrote them when you felt alone. Maybe you repeated them for so long that they began to feel like truth. But a thought can feel true and still be old. A belief can feel familiar and still be ready to leave. Softly, no blame. You are not here to attack the old version of you. You are not here to shame yourself for what you believed when you were trying to survive. You are not here to hate your past. You are here to understand it with love, bless what it taught you, and choose something kinder now. Relax your jaw. Let your forehead soften. Notice if there is a small tightness behind your eyes. Notice if your throat feels dry, as if there are words you have not said. That is not failure. That is the body saying, I have held a lot. And it has. You have held worry. You have held questions. You have held memories. You have held the hope that someday life would feel lighter. My dear, that hope is not foolish. That hope is sacred. The old chapter may have asked you to be strong. It may have asked you to keep going when you had no clear sign. It may have asked you to learn patience, boundaries, self-love, forgiveness, or trust. But just because a chapter taught you something does not mean you must live there forever. A lesson is not a prison. A season is not a life sentence. A hard time is not your identity. Think of your mind like a blackboard. For years, certain words may have been written there again and again. Some were written by fear. Some were written by disappointment. Some were written by the voices of others. Some were written by moment. It was when you did not yet know your own worth. But now, with love, you can begin to erase them. Not all at once, not with anger, with care, with patience, with a soft hand. The old mind may say, I am losing something, but your soul answers, you are making space. The old mind may say, I do not know what comes next, but your soul answers, you only need to take the next loving step. The old mind may say, what if the new chapter hurts me too? But your soul answers, this time you will not abandon yourself. Listen to that. This time you will not abandon yourself. That is part of the new chapter. Not that life will never challenge you. Not that every day will be perfect. Not that you will never feel unsure, but you will meet yourself differently. You will speak to yourself with more love. You will stop making your fear the only voice in the room. You will stop treating every delay like proof that you are forgotten. You will stop using old pain as a map for your future. You are allowed to erase the old sentence. You are allowed to write, I am learning to trust. You are allowed to write, life can be kind to me. You are allowed to write, I am safe to begin again. You are allowed to write, good can happen in ways I do not expect. I release the old story with love. I allow life to write something kinder. Let this be a gentle truth. The old chapter does not need to be hated in order to end. You do not have to fight your past to be free from it. You do not have to prove that it was all wrong. You can simply say, thank you for what you taught me. I am ready to move forward now. Some people stay stuck because they think moving forward means the past did not matter. But that is not true. Moving forward means the past does not get to own every room in your heart. Moving forward means you take the wisdom and leave the weight. Moving forward means you stop asking an old wound to tell you what love, success, peace, or safety can look like. The wound only knows what hurt. Your soul knows what heals. The old chapter may still pull on you. It may speak in small moments. When something good starts to happen, it may whisper, do not trust it. When a new door opens, it may whisper, you are not ready. When peace begins to feel possible, it may whisper, this will not last. Do not be angry with that voice. It is only an old guard at an old gate. It thinks it is protecting you. But now you can speak back with love. You can say, thank you. I know you are afraid, but I am choosing peace now. You can say, thank you. I know this feels new, but I am safe to grow. You can say, thank you. I know the past was heavy, but I do not need to carry it into today. This is how the new chapter begins, not by pushing the old away, but by no longer obeying it. There may be people, places, habits, and thoughts that belong to the old chapter. Some may leave easily. Some may take time. Some may still feel tied to your heart. Be gentle with yourself. Letting go is not always a single moment. Sometimes it is a daily choice. Sometimes it is one less thought of self-blame. One less return to what breaks your peace. One more breath before reacting. One more kind word to yourself in the mirror. Small changes are not small when they change the direction of your life. A ship does not need to turn all at once to reach a new shore. It only needs to change direction little by little. Your heart can do the same. Today, you may not know the whole future, but you can turn one thought toward love. You can turn one habit toward peace. You can turn one choice toward the person you are becoming. That is enough for today, more than enough. My dear, do not punish yourself for not leaving sooner, not healing sooner, not understanding sooner, not choosing yourself sooner. You saw what you were ready to see when you were ready to see it. You learned what you could learn with the strength you had. And now, because you are here, because you are listening, because something in your heart is opening, you can choose differently. No shame, no harshness, no heavy judgment, only a softer way forward. The old chapter may have made you believe that change must be painful, but change can also be tender. Change can feel like taking a deep breath after holding it for too long. Change can feel like clearing a table that was covered with too much. Change can feel like wiping away old chalk and seeing that the board is not ruined. It is still ready. It can still hold new words. What words will you write now? Maybe you will write, I am safe. Maybe you will write, I am worthy. Maybe you will write, I trust the next step. Maybe you will write, I do not need to know everything to begin. Maybe you will write, a new chapter is beginning, and I am allowed to enter it with peace. Let the words be simple. Simple words reach deep places. You do not have to make a large promise tonight. You do not have to say, I will never fear again. That would not be kind or real. Instead, say, when fear comes, I will meet it with love. Say, when old thoughts return, I will not make them my home. Say, when I feel unsure, I will breathe before I decide. Say, when life invites me forward, I will not close the door just because the old chapter was hard. That is how the blackboard changes. One new word, one kind thought, one soft breath, one new choice. This old chapter may have included waiting. It may have included heartbreak. It may have included confusion. It may have included times when you felt invisible, misunderstood, or tired from being strong. But listen, the old chapter is not closing because you failed. It is closing because you are being led into something more honest, more peaceful, more aligned with who you are now. You are not the same person you were when that chapter began. You have learned, you have softened, you have survived things you once thought would break you. You have found light in small places. You have kept going. And now life is asking you not to keep proving your strength through struggle. Life is asking if you are ready to know strength as peace, strength as trust, strength as choosing yourself without guilt, strength as saying, I do not need to repeat what has already taught me enough. The old chapter is closing without blame. Let it close without needing every answer. Let it close without turning every memory into a battle. Let it close with your hand on your heart and your breath returning to your body. Let it close with kindness. Let it close with the quiet knowing that what is leaving is making space for what can bless you. Before we go deeper, there is something your heart needs to hear. You are not late. You are not too far behind. You have not missed the life meant for you. Breathe into those words. Place one hand on your heart if you can. Feel the soft rise of your chest. Feel the air just above your collarbones. Feel the warmth of your palm. Let your body hear this before your mind argues with it. You are not late. You are not late because your path was never meant to look exactly like someone else's path. You are not late because your healing has its own rhythm. You are not late because the things meant for your soul do not disappear just because you needed time to grow. You are not late because life knows how to reach you, even when you have taken the long road. My dear, the mind loves to compare. It looks around and says, "They are ahead. I am behind. They have found love. They have found success. They have found peace. They have found their place." But the soul does not speak that way. The soul knows that every sunrise has its own hour. The dawn does not panic because it is not noon. The first light does not shame itself for being gentle. It rises slowly, and still it changes everything. Your life can rise slowly too. Still, it can change everything. You may have been in a season that felt quiet. You may have wondered why things were not moving faster. You may have asked why the door did not open when you wanted it to open. You may have watched other people receive things while you were still waiting, still healing, still trying to understand your own heart. But waiting does not always mean nothing is happening. Sometimes waiting is where the roots grow. Sometimes waiting is where your heart becomes strong enough to hold the good you asked for. Sometimes waiting is where life protects you from what only looked right from far away. Sometimes waiting is where you learn to stop begging for what is not peaceful and begin preparing for what is true. Not late, still guided. A new chapter is beginning, but it does not have to arrive in the way your fear demands. Fear wants proof now. Fear wants the whole plan now. Fear wants life to show every step before you take the first one. But trust is softer. Trust says, "Show me one step, and I will take it with love." Trust says, "I do not need to see the whole sunrise to know the light is coming." Trust says, "Even here, even now, I am being led." Take 90 seconds today, maybe after this moment, and do not ask when. Do not ask why not yet. Do not ask what if it never happens. For 90 seconds, let your only practice be breathing and saying, "I trust the timing of my life." That small practice can quiet the storm inside you. Not because every answer appears at once, but because you stop fighting the present moment long enough to feel supported by it. I trust the timing of my life. What is meant for me can still reach me. Say it gently, not with force, with trust. The old fear may say, "If it has not happened by now, it never will." But that is not truth. That is pain speaking. Pain often thinks the future will look like the past. Pain looks at old disappointment and calls it proof. But love looks at your life and says, "There is still more." Love says, "You are still growing." Love says, "What is for you is not so weak that time can destroy it." There are blessings that could not meet the old version of you because you would not have known how to receive them. There are doors that did not open because you were still learning your worth. There are people who left because their place in your story was complete. There are dreams that changed shape because life was trying to give you something deeper than what you first asked for. This does not mean every delay feels easy. It does not mean every closed door feels kind when it happens. It means there may be more love at work than your fear can see right now. The sunrise does not come all at once. First, the sky softens, then a little light appears, then shapes become clear, then warmth begins to touch what was cold. That is often how a new chapter begins. First, you feel a small inner shift. Then you start to want different things. Then you feel less at home in old patterns. Then you meet a message, a moment, a truth that says, stop, listen, you are ready now. This moment was sent to you because you are ready to stop fighting the timing of your life. Maybe not perfectly ready, maybe not loudly ready, maybe not fully sure, but ready enough to listen, ready enough to breathe, ready enough to take one softer step. My dear, do not confuse quiet progress with no progress. Do not confuse inner healing with delay. Do not confuse rest with failure. Do not confuse a closed door with rejection. Sometimes life closes one path because your heart has outgrown the place it was trying to enter. Sometimes the answer is not no. Sometimes the answer is not this way, not with this energy, not while you are forgetting your worth. When you trust timing, you stop forcing what needs space. You stop pulling on what needs time. You stop calling yourself behind when you are actually being prepared. You begin to understand that life is not a race against others. It is a relationship with your own soul. You are not here to win someone else's timeline. You are here to live your truth. You are here to heal what needs healing. You are here to love yourself through the becoming. You are here to open when the door is truly yours. There may have been moments when you thought, I should be further by now. But look at what you have carried. Look at what you have learned. Look at the inner battles no one saw. Look at the way you still try to believe in good. Look at the way you are still here, still listening, still willing to begin again. That is no to nothing. That is proof of life moving within you. You are not behind because your heart needed time. You are not behind because your peace mattered. You are not behind because your growth was hidden. You are not behind because the new chapter is not measured by a clock. It is measured by readiness. And readiness can look very quiet from the outside. It can look like finally not answering the old fear. It can look like resting instead of chasing. It can look like choosing not to return to the same pain. It can look like saying no with a shaking voice. It can look like cleaning one small space. It can look like writing one honest sentence. It can look like breathing through the urge to control. It can look like watching a message that reminds you who you are. That is movement. That is light. That is the beginning. Think of the dawn again. The darkest part of the night does not mean the sun has failed. It means the turning is close. In the same way, if you have felt heavy, uncertain, or strangely tired, it may not mean you are stuck. It may mean your spirit is releasing an old season. It may mean your energy is shifting. It may mean the part of you that used to survive through fear is learning how to live through trust. This can feel uncomfortable because the old way, even when painful, was known. The new way can feel open and strange. Peace can feel strange when you have lived in worry for a long time. Receiving can feel strange when you have only known effort. Rest can feel strange when you have measured your worth by how much you carry. But strange does not mean wrong. Sometimes strange simply means new. So if this new chapter feels quiet, let it be quiet. If it feels slow, let it be slow. If it begins with one breath, honor that breath. Do not demand that your life prove everything today. Do not turn this moment into another thing to pressure yourself with. Let it be a sign of support, not a task. Let it be a gentle hand, not a command. Let it remind you that you can begin again without being harsh with yourself. There is a light beginning in you. It may be small, but small light is still light. The first line of sunrise may not fill the whole sky, but it changes the darkness. Your first new thought may not change your whole life in 1 minute, but it changes the direction of your heart. Your first act of trust may feel tiny, but it tells life, I am open now. I trust the timing of my life. I am guided in ways I can see and ways I cannot see. Let that be enough for this moment. The timing of your life is not broken. You are not being punished because something took longer than you hoped. You are not forgotten because the answer came quietly. You are not unworthy because you had to wait. Your path has been shaped by things your eyes could not see. Some delays protected your peace. Some endings protected your future. Some slow seasons built strength that fast blessings could never build. And now, as this new chapter begins, you do not need to run. You do not need to grab. You do not need to prove that you deserve it. You only need to stay open enough to receive the next step. One step, one breath, one honest yes. The dawn is not asking you to understand the whole sky. It is only asking you to notice the light. Now, as this new chapter begins, there is something very tender you must understand. You cannot walk freely into a new life while carrying every stone from the old one. You can try. Many people do. They say they are ready for peace, but they still carry the old fear. They say they are ready for love, but they still carry the old hurt. They say they are ready for a new beginning, but they still carry every word that once made them feel small. And my dear, this is not something to judge. It is something to notice with love. Because you did not pick up those heavy things for no reason. At one time, worry may have felt like protection. Control may have felt like safety. Overthinking may have felt like being prepared. Keeping your heart guarded may have felt like the only way not to be hurt again. But what once protected you may now be tiring you. What once helped you survive may now be keeping you from receiving. What once felt safe may now feel heavy in your hands. Breathe. Open your hands. Feel your shoulders for a moment. Notice if they are lifted, tight, or tired. Let them drop just a little. Feel the ache between your shoulder blades, if it is there. Feel your arms. Feel your fingers. You may not even notice how tightly you have been holding life until you are invited to loosen your grip. So loosen it now, just a little. You do not have to release everything in one moment. You do not have to force yourself to be peaceful. You do not have to pretend you are not hurt, not tired, not afraid. True release is not pretending. True release is being honest enough to say, "This is heavy, and I am ready to stop carrying it alone." Sometimes the old chapter feels like a heavy coat you have worn for too long. At first, it may have felt warm. It may have felt familiar. It may have helped you get through cold seasons. But now, the weather is changing. The light is different. The air is softer. And still, you may be walking around with that heavy old coat on your shoulders, wondering why you feel so tired. You can put down the fear that you must know every answer today. You can put down the belief that you have to earn love by being useful. You can put down the thought that one mistake means you are not worthy. You can put down the old habit of expecting pain before it even arrives. You can put down the need to carry everyone else's emotions. You can put down the story that says your good has already passed you by. Let go. One breath at a time. Take one breath for the fear you are ready to release. Take one breath for the worry you no longer want to feed. Take one breath for the old story that made you forget your worth. That is enough for now. You may feel the old mind trying to hold on. It may say, "But if I stop worrying, everything will fall apart." It may say, "If I stop controlling, I will not be safe." It may say, "If I let go, I will lose what matters to me." But love answers softly, "You are not letting go of what is true. You are letting go of what is hurting you. You are not letting go of your dreams. You are letting go of the panic around them. You are not letting go of love. You are letting go of chasing love from places that cannot give it. You are not letting go of your future. You are letting go of the fear that your future must look like your past. My dear, that is a very different thing. A new chapter is beginning, but you do not have to carry the old one into it. You do not have to carry every closed door. You do not have to carry every silence. You do not have to carry every person who could not see your heart clearly. You do not have to carry every time you blamed yourself for something that was never fully yours to hold. There are things you are allowed to leave at the doorway. You are allowed to leave the need to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You are allowed to leave the fear of being judged for choosing peace. You are allowed to leave the habit of shrinking so others feel comfortable. You are allowed to leave the old promise that you must suffer before good things can come. You are allowed. Yes, you are allowed. I no longer carry what is not mine. I am allowed to feel light again. Let those words move through you slowly, not as a command, as a kindness, because there is a part of you that may not know how to feel light. There is a part of you that has been waiting for the next problem, the next loss, the next reason to close your heart. There is a part of you that learned to stay ready for disappointment because disappointment came before. But this new chapter is not asking you to ignore what happened. It is asking you not to build your whole future around it. It is asking you to stop treating old pain like a guide. It is asking you to stop using fear as proof. It is asking you to stop carrying the same heavy coat into every new season. And maybe you are thinking, but I do not know how to let go. That is all right. You do not have to know how perfectly. You only have to begin simply. Letting go can begin with one open hand. Letting go can begin with one honest sentence. Letting go can begin with one breath where you say, I do not need to solve this right now. Letting go can begin when you stop replaying the same memory for the 10th time and bring yourself back to the room you are in. Look around you, even gently. Feel where you are. Feel your body. Feel the phone in your hand or the place where your hands are resting. Notice that in this moment, you are here. Not in the old moment, not in the memory, not in the fear. Here, right here. This is where your power is. The old chapter may still speak, but it does not have to lead. The old chapter may still echo, but it does not have to decide. The old chapter may still be part of your story, but it is not the whole book. Sometimes people think release means forgetting. It does not. Release means the memory no longer gets to hold the key to your heart. Release means you can remember something without living inside it. Release means you can say, yes, that happened, and still I am allowed to receive good. That is freedom. Soft freedom. Quiet freedom. The kind that begins inside. You may not feel fully free today, but you can feel one small place inside you begin to loosen. Maybe your shoulders drop. Maybe your breathing changes. Maybe your eyes soften. Maybe your heart whispers, I am tired of carrying this. That whisper matters. Do not ignore it. It is the beginning of a new choice. You can put down the pressure to become healed overnight. You can put down the fear that you are too much or not enough. You can put down the need to be perfect before life can bless you. You can put down the thought that you must keep proving your worth. You can put down the pain of waiting for someone else to choose you before you choose yourself. Open hands, open heart, open life. There is a deep peace that comes when you realize you do not need to hold everything together by force. Some things are held by life. Some things are guided by a wisdom bigger than your worry. Some things are not meant to be pushed, pulled, chased, or begged for. Some things are meant to be allowed. Let your body hear this. You do not have to fight every battle in your mind today. You do not have to answer every fear. You do not have to carry tomorrow before it arrives. You do not have to keep wearing a story that no longer fits your soul. The heavy coat can be placed down. Maybe not forever in one moment. Maybe you pick it up again tomorrow without meaning to. That is okay. You can notice. You can smile softly at yourself. You can say, "Oh, I am carrying the old fear again." And then gently, you can place it down again. That is practice. That is healing. That is how new life begins. Not through harshness, but through return. Again and again, you return to peace. Again and again, you return to trust. Again and again, you return to the truth that you are allowed to feel light. My dear, the new chapter does not need your fear in order to open. It does not need your worry in order to arrive. It does not need your control in order to be safe. It needs your willingness. It needs your open hands. It needs your soft yes. So take one more breath. Let your shoulders drop. Let your fingers open. Let the old weight slide off your heart, even if only a little, and say inside yourself, "I am ready to stop carrying what belongs to yesterday." Not because yesterday was meaningless, not because your pain did not matter, but because your future deserves space, and you deserve to enter it without all that weight. There is something beautiful about a message that reaches you at the right time. At first, the mind may say, "This is just a video. This is just a moment. This is just something I found while scrolling." But the heart knows when something touches a hidden place. The heart knows when a sentence feels like it was written for the ache you have not spoken about. The heart knows when a pause becomes more than a pause. Notice, listen. Maybe this message did not come to give you something from outside. Maybe it came to wake up something that was already inside you. A quiet knowing, a soft hope, a part of you that still believes life can change, a part of you that has been waiting for permission to begin again. My dear, signs are not always loud. They do not always come with bright lights or big changes. Sometimes a sign is simply a deep breath after many days of holding your breath. Sometimes a sign is a sentence that makes your eyes pause. Sometimes a sign is a strange calm that enters your body when you hear the truth. And sometimes the sign is not the message itself. Sometimes the sign is your reaction to it, the small pull in your chest, the blink of tired eyes, the feeling that says, I needed this. The quiet reflection of your face on a dim screen, looking back at you as if asking, are you ready to stop running from yourself? That is where the real sign lives, inside you, not far away, not above you, not outside your reach, inside the part of you that still knows the way home. You may have been looking for proof from life. You may have been waiting for someone else to say the right thing, open the right door, give the right answer, or tell you that you are allowed to move forward. But sometimes the answer begins as an inner yes, a small yes, a quiet yes, a yes that may not yet know how everything will unfold, but still knows that something has to change. Doubt may say, this is just another message. Inner guidance says, then why did it touch you? Doubt may say, I am not ready. Inner guidance says, readiness begins with one honest yes. Doubt may say, I have tried before. Inner guidance says, this time you can try with more love. Doubt may say, what if nothing changes? Inner guidance says, something already changed the moment you stopped and listened. That is the power of listening. When you listen deeply, you stop living only from the noise of the mind. You begin to hear the softer voice beneath it. The voice that does not shout, the voice that does not shame you, the voice that does not rush, the voice that says, come closer, there is another way. This voice has been with you for a long time. It was there when you felt something was not right, even before you could explain it. It was there when you wanted peace more than approval. It was there when you knew you had outgrown something, even though you were afraid to leave it. It was there when you felt tired of repeating the same pattern. It was there when you looked at your life and quietly asked, is there more for me than this? Yes, there is more, but the more begins inside. It begins with the way you speak to yourself. It begins with the way you trust your feelings. It begins with the way you stop dismissing every inner nudge as nothing. It begins when you understand that your heart is not foolish for wanting peace. Your soul is not dramatic for wanting change. Your body is not weak for being tired of carrying too many. Your inner life has been speaking. Maybe now you are ready to listen. My heart knows the way. I trust the quiet truth within me. Let those words be enough. You do not need to hear a loud answer today. You do not need to know every step. You do not need to prove to anyone that this moment matters. If it matters to your heart, that is enough. The mirror of life can be gentle, but it can also be honest. Sometimes a message becomes a mirror, showing you what you have been avoiding. It may show you that you are tired of chasing. It may show you that you have been waiting for permission. It may show you that you are ready to stop speaking to yourself like an enemy. It may show you that the old chapter does not feel like home anymore. Do not turn away from that mirror. Look softly, not with judgment, with kindness. See the person who has been trying so hard. See the person who has carried silent worries. See the person who has wanted to be strong even while needing comfort. See the person who has doubted their own worth but still kept hoping. See the person who is here now, listening, breathing, wanting something better. That person deserves love, not later. Now, your new chapter does not begin when you become perfect. It begins when you stop rejecting yourself in the middle of becoming. It begins when you can look at your own reflection, even tired, even unsure, and say, I am still worthy of good. It begins when you stop waiting for your life to look beautiful before you bless yourself. Bless yourself now. Bless your tired heart. Bless your slow healing. Bless your questions. Bless your desire for peace. Bless the part of you that is scared. Bless the part of you that is ready. There is no part of you that needs hate in order to grow. There is no wound that heals faster because you judge it. There is no new chapter that opens wider because you punish yourself. Love is the key. Gentleness is the doorway. Trust is the step. Maybe this message touched you because you are not meant to keep ignoring your own inner voice. Maybe it found you because your heart has been trying to get your attention in small ways. Maybe it found you because your body has been asking for rest. Maybe it found you because your soul is ready to be treated with more care. This was sent to you as a reminder. Your inner truth matters. Not the loud fear, not the old shame, not the voice that says you should have done everything sooner. Your quiet truth, the truth that says, I want peace. The truth that says, I am ready for something kinder. The truth that says, I cannot keep living against myself. The truth that says, I am allowed to begin again. If this message feels like it reached you at the right time, you may like, subscribe, or simply write, I am ready in the comments as a small promise to your own heart, and then come back to yourself, because the promise is not for anyone else. It is for the part of you that needs to know you are listening now. It is for the part of you that has waited patiently while you gave your energy to everything and everyone else. It is for the part of you that still believes, even quietly, that life can become softer. You do not have to share the promise loudly. You do not have to explain it. You can hold it in the private room of your heart. You can let it become a small candle inside you. When fear comes, the candle is there. When doubt comes, the candle is there. When the old story calls your name, the candle is there. A simple inner promise can change the way you walk through the day. I will listen to myself. I will not laugh at my own dreams. I will not call my peace selfish. I will not keep choosing what hurts me just because it is familiar. I will give this new chapter a chance. Feel how different that is. Not forced, not rushed, not dramatic, just honest. My dear, the sign is not here to make you afraid. It is here to bring you back into trust. It is here to help you remember that you are not empty. You are not lost beyond repair. You are not waiting for life to give you a soul. You already have wisdom inside you. You already have a light inside you. You already have a place within you that knows how to move toward what is good. You may have covered it with fear. You may have ignored it for a while. You may have doubted it because other voices were louder. But it is still there. Your inner guidance is still there. And it does not speak with panic. It speaks with peace. It does not push you into fear. It leads you into truth. It does not shame you for being human. It reminds you that you can choose again. So if something in this message feels personal, let it be personal. If something in it feels soft, let it soften you. If something in it feels like a door, stand before it with an open heart. You do not need to know where the whole path leads. You only need to admit that something inside you is awake now. And once the heart wakes up, it does not want to go back to sleep. When a new chapter is beginning, life often asks for space. Not a big, perfect space. Not a whole life cleaned up in one day. Just a little room. A little room in your mind. A little room in your heart. A little room in your day where something new can breathe. Make room. Small steps. You cannot pour fresh water into a cup that is already full. You cannot invite peace into a mind that is crowded with every fear from yesterday and every worry about tomorrow. You cannot fully welcome a new chapter while every room inside you is packed with old pain, old stories, old guilt, old noise. So life may gently ask, can we clear one small space? Not everything, just one. Breathe into your belly for a moment. Let the breath move lower than the chest. Feel the air entering your nose. Feel the quiet room around you, even if the world is not completely quiet. Maybe there is a cup nearby, warm or forgotten. Maybe there is a blanket, a chair, a small corner where your body is resting. Let this ordinary moment become sacred by giving it your attention. This is where space begins, not far away. Here, inside this breath, inside this choice, inside this willingness to stop filling every silence with fear. My dear, making space does not always mean removing people or changing your whole life at once. Sometimes making space means not checking the same thing again and again. Sometimes it means not replaying the same conversation in your mind. Sometimes it means not saying yes when your whole body is asking for rest. Sometimes it means not speaking to yourself with the same hard words. Sometimes the first space you make is one kinder thought. One softer morning, one slower breath, one moment where you do not rush to fix what simply needs to be felt. There are rooms inside you that may have been closed for a long time. A room for joy, a room for trust, a room for rest, a room for receiving, a room for believing that good can come without pain first. Maybe those rooms have been filled with old boxes labeled not safe, not yet, not for me, too late, too hard. But now with love, you can begin to open them. You do not need to throw everything away at once. Just open a window. Let a little fresh air in. Let one old belief be questioned. Let one new truth enter. Let one part of you say, maybe life can be kinder than I thought. That is space. That is healing. That is how a new chapter finds a place to land. I make space for peace in my mind. I make space for love in my heart. I make space for good that I have not yet imagined. I make space for the person I am becoming. Feel those words gently. Do not rush them. A new chapter does not need a perfect person. It needs a willing place to begin. You may think, but my life is messy. That is okay. A garden can begin in messy soil. A home can be cleaned one room at a time. A heart can open one breath at a time. You do not have to wait until everything is calm before you choose peace. You choose peace in small ways, and slowly, calm begins to grow. There is a simple practice you can do. It does not need a special notebook. It does not need a perfect morning. It does not need a long ritual. You can use a journal, a piece of paper, or the Notes app on your phone. Write 3 lines, only 3. First line, what am I leaving behind? Second line, what am I ready to receive? Third line, what kind thought can I choose today? That is all. 3 lines can open a door. 3 lines can show you what your heart already knows. 3 lines can help you stop carrying thoughts you never questioned. Do not make it difficult. If you are leaving behind fear, write fear. If you are leaving behind chasing, write chasing. If you are leaving behind harsh self-talk, write harsh self-talk. If you are ready to receive peace, write peace. If you are ready to receive love, write love. If you are ready to receive clarity, write clarity. If the kind thought is, I am doing my best, write that. If it is, I am safe today, write that. If it is, I can begin again, write that. Simple truth is powerful. You do not need hard words for deep healing. Your heart understands simple love. I make space for good. I welcome the life that is ready for me. Let that affirmation sit inside you like a warm cup held between your hands. Do not ask it to prove itself once. Let it warm you slowly. The new chapter may not come rushing in like a storm. It may enter like morning light through a window, slowly, gently. First touching one part of the room, then another. At first, you may only feel a little hope, a little peace, a little desire to choose differently. Do not dismiss that. Small light is still light. Make space for small light. Make space for small signs. Make space for small changes that do not look big to anyone else but feel honest to you. Maybe you make space by going to bed without replaying the whole day. Maybe you make space by drinking water and saying, "My body deserves care." Maybe you make space by deleting one message thread that keeps pulling you back into pain. Maybe you make space by taking 5 slow breaths before answering someone. Maybe you make space by letting yourself cry without calling yourself weak. Maybe you make space by saying no without writing a long excuse. Maybe you make space by saying yes to something that feels peaceful. Every small space becomes an invitation. Life enters where there is room. Love enters where there is room. Peace enters where there is room. New thoughts enter where there is room. And sometimes the most powerful room you can create is the room between a feeling and your reaction. The old chapter may have trained you to react quickly, to defend, to explain, to chase, to shut down, to assume the worst. But now you can create a small space before the old response. One breath, just one. Before you answer, before you judge yourself, before you believe the fear, before you return to the old pattern. One breath can become a doorway. In that breath, you may hear your soul say, "Choose differently this time." Not perfectly, just differently. Choose softness where you would have chosen harshness. Choose patience where you would have chosen panic. Choose trust where you would have chosen control. Choose your peace where you would have chosen approval. This is how space becomes change. This is how change becomes a new life. My dear, do not wait for a large sign to begin clearing space. The sign may be this simple feeling inside you right now. The feeling that says, "I want to live lighter." The feeling that says, "I am tired of the same pain." The feeling that says, "Maybe I am ready." Honor that feeling. It is sacred. It may be quiet, but it is real. You can begin with your inner home. Imagine your heart as a small house. Not a perfect house. Not a house that needs to impress anyone. Just a real living house. Some rooms may be warm and open. Some rooms may be dusty from old memories. Some rooms may be locked because you were not ready to enter them before. Do not break the doors down. Walk gently. Carry a light. Open one room. Maybe today you open the room of rest. You say, "I am allowed to stop." Maybe today you open the room of self-love. You say, "I am learning to be kind to myself." Maybe today you open the room of trust. You say, "I do not know everything, but I am willing to be guided." Maybe today you open the room of receiving. You say, "Good seed, and come to me without struggle." This is not childish. This is deep work. It is the work of becoming safe inside your own life. Because the new chapter is not only about what changes outside. It is also about what becomes safer inside. Your mind becomes safer when it no longer attacks you all day. Your body becomes safer when you listen to its tiredness. Your heart becomes safer when you stop giving access to what keeps hurting it. Your future becomes safer when you stop building it with fear. Make space for safety. Make space for kindness. Make space for clear choices. Make space for a life that does not require you to betray yourself. You may notice that when you begin making space, some things become clearer. You may see which habits drain you. You may see which thoughts make you feel small. You may see which places bring peace and which places bring heaviness. This clarity is not here to punish you. It is here to guide you. When a room is dark, you may not see what is inside. But when light enters, you can choose what stays and what goes. That is all clarity is. Light entering the room. Let the light in, gently. Without fear, if you discover that you have been holding on to something painful, do not shame yourself. Simply say, "Now I see it." If you discover that you have been speaking to yourself unkindly, do not attack yourself for it. Simply say, "Now I can choose a softer word." If you discover that you have been waiting for someone else to give you peace, do not blame yourself. Simply say, "Now I return to myself. Now I see. Now I choose. Now I return." These are powerful words. They do not fight the old chapter. They open the new one. There is also space to be made in the way you receive good. Many people ask for blessings, but when blessings come, they push them away. A kind word comes and they say, "Oh, it was nothing." Help comes and they say, "I do not need it." Rest comes and they feel guilty. Love comes and they look for what might go wrong. If this is you, be gentle. You are not broken. You are learning to receive. Receiving is a room too. Maybe that room has been closed for years. Maybe no one taught you how to receive without fear. Maybe you learned that you had to earn every good thing through struggle. Maybe you learned that rest had to come after exhaustion, not before. Maybe you learned that love had to be chased, not welcomed. But now in this new chapter, you can learn a different way. You can receive a compliment and simply say, "Thank you." You can receive help and let it touch your heart. You can receive rest without explaining why you need it. You can receive love without asking, "When will it leave?" You can receive good and let it be good. This is space too. The space to let good things stay. The space to not ruin peace by fearing its end. The space to believe that life can be generous. A new chapter needs this kind of space. It needs a heart that does not shut the door every time goodness knocks. It needs a mind that can hold a new thought long enough for it to grow. It needs a body that is not always braced for trouble. It needs your willingness to say, "I do not know how everything will unfold, but I am open to good." Open. That is enough. You do not need to be fearless, just open. You do not need to be perfect, just willing. You do not need to have the whole room clean, just one small corner where hope can sit. And from that small corner, more space will come. A little peace today, a little courage tomorrow, a little trust the next day, a little more room in your heart, a little more light in your mind, a little more kindness in the way you speak to yourself. This is how new chapters become real, not only through big outer changes, but through small inner permissions. Permission to rest, permission to heal, permission to want more, permission to receive, permission to stop living from old fear, permission to become someone who no longer needs pain to feel familiar. So today, make space, not with pressure, with love. Clear one thought. Release one old sentence. Write 3 lines. Take 1 breath before reacting. Let 1 kind word enter. Let 1 small good thing matter. Your new chapter does not need you to rush. It only needs you to open 1 room and let the light begin. The next part is the one many people skip, but it is where real change begins. You do not need to chase what is truly aligned with your soul. Read that again inside your heart. You do not need to chase what is truly aligned with your soul. There is a kind of life that comes through fear, pushing, pulling, proving, begging, and trying to make everything happen before it is ready. And then there is a kind of life that comes through trust. It comes through calm choices. It comes through open hands. It comes when you stop running after what keeps moving away from your peace. My dear, this does not mean you sit still and do nothing. It does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you stop taking steps. It means your steps no longer come from panic. It means your heart no longer says, "If I do not force this, I will lose everything." It means you begin to act from peace instead of fear. There is a big difference. Fear rushes. Peace listens. Fear grabs. Peace receives. Fear says, "I must make this happen now." Peace says, "What is truly mine can meet me in the right way." Take a slow breath and feel your heart area soften. Feel the slow beat inside your chest. Feel the warmth in your palms. Feel your shoulders loosen even a little. Your body knows when you are chasing. It becomes tight. Your breath becomes short. Your mind runs ahead. Your heart feels like it is trying to catch something that is always just out of reach. But when you begin to receive, your body changes. You may still care. You may still take action. But there is less tightness around it. There is more trust. There is more room. There is a quiet feeling that says, "I do not need to break myself to be blessed." Receive, allow. This was sent to you as a reminder. You are allowed to receive without struggling. You are allowed to receive love without proving you are perfect. You are allowed to receive rest without explaining why you are tired. You are allowed to receive help without feeling weak. You are allowed to receive good news without looking for what might go wrong. You are allowed to receive a new chapter without carrying fear into every corner of it. Sometimes people do not receive because they do not believe they are allowed to. They may say they want good, but when good comes close, they become afraid. They question it. They push it away. They look for danger. They tell themselves, "This is too easy. This cannot be real. Something must go wrong." If that has been you, be gentle with yourself. You are not wrong. You are healing. Maybe life taught you to expect struggle before safety. Maybe you learned that good things were followed by loss. Maybe you learned that love had to be earned by giving too much. Maybe you learned that rest only came when your body could no longer keep going. But those lessons do not have to become the laws of your future. You can learn a new way. You can learn to receive slowly. You can learn to let peace stay. You can learn to stop pushing away the very good you asked for. Think of yourself like a magnet, but not in a hard or strange way. Think of your inner energy as a quiet message you send into life. When you are full of fear, the message becomes tight. When you are full of trust, the message becomes clear. When you keep saying, "I am not enough, I am too late, I must chase, I must prove," your whole body begins to live as if good is far away. But when you soften and say, "I am open, I am worthy, I am ready to receive in peace," something inside you changes. And when something inside you changes, your choices change. You stop choosing what keeps hurting you. You stop begging for attention from places that do not honor you. You stop calling stress love. You stop calling confusion a sign. You stop calling overgiving kindness. You begin to know the difference between what excites your fear and what feeds your peace. That difference matters. I do not chase what leaves me empty. I do not beg for what cannot meet me with love. I do not force what makes me lose myself. I do not shrink to keep what is not aligned with my peace. Let those words be honest, not angry, not bitter, honest. Because this new chapter is not about becoming cold. It is not about closing your heart. It is about opening your heart in wiser ways. It is about understanding that real receiving is not desperate. It is not loud. It is not full of fear. Real receiving is calm. It says, "I am here. I am open. I am ready. And I do not need to abandon myself to be chosen." My dear, if something is aligned with your soul, it will not require you to destroy your peace in order to keep it. It may ask you to grow. It may ask you to be brave. It may ask you to tell the truth. It may ask you to step out of an old pattern, but it will not ask you to hate yourself. It will not ask you to become smaller. It will not ask you to live in constant fear. That is an important sign. When something is truly for you, it brings a deeper kind of peace, even if it also brings change. It may feel new. It may stretch you. It may ask you to trust more than you have before. But under it, there is a quiet rightness, a calm pull, a gentle sense that says, "This is helping me become more myself, not less." You can trust that feeling. Maybe in the old chapter, you chased because you feared being forgotten. Maybe you chased because silence made you anxious. Maybe you chased because you thought if you tried harder, gave more, fixed more, or proved more, then life would finally give you what you needed. But now, in this new chapter, you can begin to understand something softer. You do not receive by becoming exhausted. You receive by becoming open. You receive by becoming honest. You receive by becoming calm enough to see what is real. You receive by letting go of what keeps telling your body to live in alarm. There is no need to run after every door. The door meant for your next step will open in a way your spirit can recognize. There is no need to force every connection. The people meant to walk with you will not require you to become a stranger to yourself. There is no need to panic over every delay. Sometimes life is clearing a path you cannot see yet. This does not mean you never take action. You will take action. You will answer the call. You will make the choice. You will send the message when it comes from peace. You will apply for the chance when your heart feels ready. You will speak the truth when silence becomes heavy. You will step forward when the path opens. But you will not move from fear alone. That is the difference. Take one more breath. Feel your palms. Feel your heart. Feel the space around your shoulders. Say within yourself, "I can move without chasing. I can care without clinging. I can receive without fear. I am open to good. I receive with peace, not fear." Let this become a new pattern inside you. When fear says, "Hurry, or you will miss it," answer, "What is truly mine can meet me in peace." When fear says, "Prove your worth," answer, "My worth is already here." When fear says, "Hold tighter," answer, "I trust what belongs to my soul." When fear says, "You must chase," answer, "I am allowed to receive." This is not weakness. This is not giving up. This is not becoming passive. It is becoming rooted. It is becoming clear. It is choosing to stop feeding the belief that your good lives far away and must be hunted down. Your good can find you. Your peace can meet you. Your next chapter can open without you breaking yourself against the door. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not to push harder, but to calm your energy before you take the next step. Before you send the message, breathe. Before you make the choice, breathe. Before you say yes out of fear, breathe. Before you return to an old pattern, breathe. One breath can bring you back to yourself. One breath can help you feel the difference between fear and wisdom. One breath can stop you from chasing what is not meant to hold you. A calm heart sees more clearly. A calm mind heeds. Ours more truth. A calm body can receive what a tense body pushes away. So let this be part of your new chapter. You no longer call panic your guide. You no longer call chasing your proof of love. You no longer call self-abandonment devotion. You no longer call fear a sign that something is important. Peace can be important too. Ease can be real too. Gentle love can be true too. Open doors can be safe too. Let life show you a new way. Let love come without a battle. Let good arrive without you expecting pain behind it. Let support reach you without pushing it away. Let the next step be simple enough for your heart to take. You are becoming a person who can receive, not because you have earned it through suffering, not because you have finally become perfect, but because receiving is part of life. The earth receives rain, the flower receives sunlight, the lungs receive breath, the heart receives love. You are part of life too. You are allowed to receive. A new chapter is not only about what arrives, it is also about who you become as you walk toward it. This is very important. Many people wait for life to change first. They say, when the door opens, then I will feel brave. When love arrives, then I will feel worthy. When money comes, then I will feel safe. When everything is clear, then I will trust. But the new chapter often begins before the outside proof appears. It begins inside, when you decide to become the person who can walk through the door with more love and less fear. One step. Begin again. Sit a little taller if you can. Feel the chair beneath you or the place where your body is resting. Feel your legs. Feel your feet if they are touching the floor. Feel the support under you. You are held in this moment. You are not floating alone through life. Even now, something is supporting you. Let your body know that. The bridge into a new chapter is built from small choices, not giant promises, not perfect days. Small choices, softer thoughts, kinder self-talk, stronger boundaries, a little more honesty, a little less fear. One breath before reacting. One moment of choosing peace instead of repeating the old pattern. You may want life to hand you the whole bridge already finished. That is natural. The mind wants certainty. It wants to see the other side before it takes the first step. But the soul often learns trust by walking one step at a time. The bridge appears as you become willing. One choice becomes one board. One kind thought becomes another. One act of courage becomes another. And slowly you realize you are crossing. You are not where you used to be. You are not who you used to be. You are moving, even if it feels slow. even if no one else can see it. My dear, fear may walk with you for a while. Do not be surprised by that. A new chapter can stir old fear. When something good comes close, fear may rise. When a new door opens, fear may ask, "What if this goes wrong?" When you begin to love yourself more, fear may ask, "What if people leave?" When you choose peace, fear may ask, "What if I lose control?" Let fear speak, but do not let fear lead. Fear says, "What if I fail again?" Love says, "Then we begin again gently." Fear says, "What if I am not enough?" Love says, "You are growing, and that is enough for today." Fear says, "What if the new chapter hurts?" Love says, "This time you will stay with yourself." Fear says, "What if I do not know the way?" Love says, "The next step will be shown." Let love answer. Not loudly, not with force, just with steady kindness. Because fear does not always need a fight. Sometimes fear needs a soft hand. Fear is often a younger part of you that remembers what hurt. It is trying to stop you from feeling pain again. But love is wiser. Love says, we can be careful without closing. We can be brave without rushing. We can move forward without abandoning ourselves. That is the bridge. Careful but open, brave but gentle, moving but not forcing. You may have crossed many hard places before. Maybe you crossed seasons of doubt. Maybe you crossed heartbreak. Maybe you crossed loneliness. Maybe you crossed years of being too hard on yourself. Maybe you crossed silent battles no one knew about. And because you crossed them, a part of you may now be tired. Honor that. Do not shame your tiredness. Do not call yourself weak because you need peace. Do not call yourself lazy because your soul wants rest. The new chapter is not asking you to run across the bridge. It is asking you to walk with awareness, to place one foot in front of the other, to stop when you need to breathe, to keep your heart open but not unprotected, to trust that each step matters. I walk forward with love. I am becoming ready, one choice at a time. Let that be enough. One choice at a time, one breath before each choice. This is a simple practice for the next day of your life. Before you choose, take one breath. Before you answer, take one breath. Before you say yes, take one breath. Before you say no, take one breath. Before you believe the old story, take one breath. That breath is a bridge. In that breath, you can ask, is this old fear or is this inner truth? In that breath, you can ask, does this bring me closer to peace or further from myself? In that breath, you can ask, what would love choose here? You do not need to answer perfectly. You only need to begin asking better questions. The old chapter may have taught you to ask, how do I keep everyone happy? The new chapter asks, how do I honor my heart with love? The old chapter may have taught you to ask, how do I avoid being judged? The new chapter asks, how do I live truthfully? The old chapter may have taught you to ask, how do I hold on? The new chapter asks, what is safe to release? The old chapter may have taught you to ask, what if I lose? The new chapter asks, what if life is trying to give me more? These new questions change your path. They change the bridge under your feet. They help you stop walking in circles. And little by little, you begin to become someone who does not need the old pain to feel familiar. You become someone who notices peace and trusts it. You become someone who can receive love without checking for danger every second. You become someone who can say no without guilt and yes without fear. You become someone who knows that self-love is not selfish. It is the ground you stand on. My dear, the new chapter will ask you to be honest about what cannot come with you. Not every habit can cross the bridge. Not every belief can cross the bridge. Not every relationship pattern can cross the bridge. Not every old version of you can cross the bridge in the same way. This is not punishment. This is growth. A bridge connects two places, but it also asks you to leave one side. You cannot stay fully in the old chapter and fully enter the new one at the same time. There will be moments when you must choose, not always in large ways, sometimes in quiet ways. You choose not to speak harshly to yourself. You choose not to return to the same painful conversation in your mind. You choose not to give your peace away to every fear. You choose not to make your worth depend on someone else's mood. You choose not to close your heart just because the past was hard. These choices may feel small, but they are powerful. They are the bridge becoming stronger. They are proof that your new chapter is not only an idea, it is becoming your way of living. And yes, there may be moments when you step backward. There may be days when you believe the old fear. There may be nights when you feel unsure again. Do not turn those moments into proof that you have failed. They are part of learning. When a child learns to walk, no one says the child has failed because they fall. They simply help the child stand again. Do that for yourself. Help yourself stand again with patience, with love, with no cruel words. Say, I am learning. Say, I can begin again. Say, this moment does not cancel my growth. That is how you keep crossing. A new chapter is not a place where you never feel fear again. It is a place where fear no longer controls every choice. It is a place where you listen to love more often. It is a place where you trust your body when it asks for rest. It is a place where you speak to your heart like it matters. It is a place where you understand that the way you treat yourself becomes the energy you carry into everything. So treat yourself like someone crossing a sacred bridge. Do not rush yourself. Do not insult yourself. Do not drag yourself by fear. Walk with yourself. Encourage yourself. Bless each step. One day, you will look back and see that the bridge was not built in one grand moment. It was built in all the quiet times you chose differently. The time you did not answer from panic. The time you rested instead of proving. The time you believed the kind thought for one more minute. The time you walked away from what kept breaking your peace. The time you let good come close without pushing it away. That was the bridge. That was the becoming. That was the new chapter beginning under your feet. Sometimes the new chapter does not first appear as a big event. Sometimes it appears as a small proof, a calmer breath, a softer thought, a little more strength to say no, a moment where you do not react the old way, a quiet feeling that maybe, just maybe, life is becoming kinder. Do not dismiss these small proofs. They are seeds. And seeds do not look like forests when they first appear. They look small, easy to miss, easy to doubt. But inside them, there is life. Inside them, there is a future. Inside them, there is something growing even before your eyes can see the full shape. Thank you. It is growing. Place your hand on your heart for a moment and name one small good thing. It does not have to be dramatic. Maybe it is the simple taste of water. Maybe it is the softness of fabric against your skin. Maybe it is the quiet moment after a long day. Maybe it is the fact that you are still here, still breathing, still willing to believe that life can change. That is enough. Gratitude does not mean you pretend everything is perfect. It does not mean you deny your pain. It does not mean you say nothing hurts when something does hurt. Gratitude simply means you choose to notice the good that still exists beside the pain. It means you train your heart to see support, even in small forms. It means you tell life, I see what is here. I am willing to receive more. My dear, what you notice grows in your awareness. If you only notice what is missing, your heart begins to feel empty. If you only notice what went wrong, your mind begins to expect more wrong. If you only notice the delay, you may miss the quiet ways life is preparing you. But when you begin to notice small good things, your inner world changes. Not because life becomes perfect overnight, but because your focus begins to soften. You begin to see that good has not been absent. It has been quiet. It has been simple. It has been waiting for your attention. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for the strength that carried me here. Thank you for the small signs of good already around me. Let your gratitude be simple. You do not need fancy words. You do not need to feel joyful every second. You can be grateful with tears in your eyes. You can be grateful while still healing. You can be grateful while still unsure. Gratitude is not a performance. It is a turning of the heart, a small turn, a gentle turn, a real turn. Think of your new chapter like a garden. You may not see all the flowers yet. You may only see soil. You may only see a few tiny green shoots. You may even see places that still look empty. But if you keep watering only the empty places with worry, you may forget the seeds that have already begun to grow. Gratitude is water. Attention is water. Kind words are water. Trust is water. Every time you notice one small proof of good, you water the new life inside you. Maybe the proof is that you are not as willing to harm yourself with old words. Maybe the proof is that you pause before reacting. Maybe the proof is that you feel tired of chasing. Maybe the proof is that you want peace more than drama. Maybe the proof is that this message reached you and you did not scroll away. That matters. Your soul is bliss, teeming. Your life is changing in ways that may be quiet now, but quiet change is still change. Before sleep or after waking, name 5 small proofs of good. Just 5. They can be very simple. The water I drank. The breath I took, the one kind thought I believed, the message that reminded me I am not alone, the small hope that is still alive in me. Do this without pressure. Do it gently. If you forget, begin again the next day. If you can only name one, name one. One seed is still a beginning. One grateful thought is still a light. One moment of noticing good can open a small door in the mind. I notice the good that is already here. I trust that more good is growing. Let this affirmation become a seed in the soil of your heart. Do not dig it up every hour to check if it is growing. Let it grow. Let your life surprise you. Let your peace return in small ways. Let your hope become stronger through simple attention. The old chapter may have trained you to scan for danger. It may have taught you to look for what might go wrong. It may have taught you to expect disappointment so that you would not be shocked by it. That was a form of protection. But now, the new chapter is teaching you a different practice. Scan for support. Look for kindness. Notice peace. Name the small miracle. Water the seed. This does not make you blind to reality. It makes you more open to the whole of reality. Pain may be present, yes, but support may also be present. A problem may be present, yes, but a solution may be forming. Fear may be present, yes, but love may be speaking quietly beneath it. Do not give all your attention to the fear. Give some attention to the love. Give some attention to the breath. Give some attention to the small proof that life is still with you. There are blessings that look ordinary until you truly notice them. The light through a window, the calm after crying, the message from someone at the right time, the strength to get through a hard day, the moment your body finally relaxes, the feeling of clean sheets, the first sip of tea, the soft silence when you stop fighting yourself. These are not small when your heart is healing. They are signs of life. They are proof that beauty can still reach you. They are proof that not everything has been taken. They are proof that your new chapter may begin with gratitude for what is already here. My dear, gratitude also helps you stop waiting for happiness to arrive only after everything changes. It helps you touch a little peace now, not later, not when every door opens, not when every answer comes. Now, in this breath, in this body, in this small moment where you choose to see one good thing and let it matter. Let it matter. Let the simple things matter. Let the quiet good matter. Let the small signs matter. Let your own growth matter. Maybe no one else sees how far you have come. Maybe no one knows how hard it was for you to keep your heart open. Maybe no one sees the way you are trying to speak more kindly to yourself. But you can see. You can honor it. You can say, "Thank you, heart, for still trying. Thank you, body, for carrying me. Thank you, life, for giving me another chance to begin. Thank you for the chance to begin again. Thank you for the lessons I can now release. Thank you for the love I am learning to receive. Thank you for the new life growing quietly inside me." There is power in saying thank you before the full blessing appears. Not because you are pretending, not because you are forcing faith, but because you are choosing to stand with the part of you that believes good is still possible. You are choosing to water the seed before it becomes visible to everyone else. That is trust. That is devotion to your own healing. That is how a new chapter grows roots. And once something has roots, it becomes stronger. It can face wind. It can face waiting. It can face slow days. It can keep growing even when the surface looks still. Your gratitude gives roots to your new life. Your attention gives strength to your new choices. Your kindness gives warmth to the parts of you that are learning to bloom. So notice the small proofs. Write them down. Whisper them. Hold them in your heart. Return to them when fear says nothing is changing. Something is changing. You are noticing differently. You are choosing differently. You are softening differently. You are receiving differently. And that means the garden has already begun. Now return to this moment. Return to your breath. Return to the phone in your hand, the screen before you, the body that has been listening, the heart that has been quietly opening. Here, now, begin. You do not need to know the whole journey. You do not need to see every turn. You do not need to understand every reason why the old chapter had to unfold the way it did. You do not need to prove that you are ready by feeling fearless. You only need to become present enough to take the next loving step. That is all life is asking from you right now. Not the whole staircase, not the whole ocean, not the whole future. Just this breath, just this moment, just this soft return to yourself. My dear, a new chapter can begin in a very quiet way. It can begin while you are still unsure. It can begin while your hands are still tired from holding too much. It can begin while your eyes are still soft from old tears. It can begin before anything outside changes, because the deepest beginnings often happen inside first. Something in you has heard the call. Something in you has paused. Something in you is ready to stop living from the old fear, and that matters. Imagine your heart like a small boat on calm water. For a long time, it may have been pushed by old winds. Worry, pain, doubt, control, the need to prove, the fear of being left behind. But now, you are being invited to place an anchor into peace. Not an anchor that traps you, an anchor that steadies you, an anchor that reminds you, I can move forward without losing myself. You can be steady and still grow. You can be soft and still be strong. You can be open and still be wise. You can begin again and still honor everything you have been through. From this moment, I choose one softer thought. From this moment, I choose, the honest breath. From this moment, I choose to stop calling myself behind. From this moment, I choose to trust that life can still surprise me with good. Let these words move slowly. Let them be simple enough to live. A new chapter is not only something that happens to you, it is something you participate in. You participate by the way you speak to yourself when no one is listening. You participate by the way you choose peace when fear offers an old path. You participate by the way you let rest be holy. You participate by the way you receive support without pushing it away. You participate by the way you stop looking at the past as the only proof of what can happen next. The past is not the only proof. Your pain is not the only proof. Your delay is not the only proof. There is also proof in your strength, proof in your growth, proof in your desire for peace, proof in the fact that your heart is still open enough to be touched by this message. Stop scrolling. This was sent to you. A new chapter is beginning, and it begins gently right here. Let that sentence be a hand on your heart, not a warning, not a demand, a blessing. This was sent to you not to make you afraid of missing something, but to remind you that you have not missed yourself. You are still here. Your heart is still here. Your inner light is still here. Your ability to begin again is still here. No matter how long the old chapter lasted, no matter how many times you forgot your worth, no matter how many moments you felt unsure, the door of this moment is open, and you can enter gently. You do not have to rush through it. You do not have to push others out of the way. You do not have to carry a perfect plan in your hands. You can enter with one simple truth. I am willing. Willing to trust the next step. Willing to release what is too heavy. Willing to receive what is kind. Willing to become someone who does not live against their own heart. Willing to let life be better than the past taught you to expect. That willingness is powerful. It may feel small, but it is not small. A key is small, but it can open a door. A seed is small, but it can become a tree. A breath is small, but it can bring you back to life. Your willingness may be quiet, but it can change the whole direction of your path. So breathe again. Let your shoulders soften. Let your chest open. Let your hands relax. Let your heart hear this. You are safe to begin again. You are not being asked to become someone else. You are being invited to become more truly yourself, more peaceful, more honest, more loving toward your own heart, more open to the good that life has been trying to bring you, more willing to stop confusing struggle with worth. Your new chapter may bring new people. It may bring new chances. It may bring clearer boundaries. It may bring deeper rest. It may bring healing you did not know was possible. It may bring a kind of peace that feels strange at first because you are used to noise. Let it come slowly. Let it come in ways you can hold. Let it see. Show me without demanding that it look exactly how your fear imagined. Life knows how to open doors. Life knows how to guide timing. Life knows how to remove what cannot come with you. Life knows how to bring back the parts of you that felt lost. You are not alone in this beginning. There is a quiet wisdom moving with you. It may speak through peace. It may speak through a closed door. It may speak through a sudden knowing. It may speak through rest. It may speak through a message that arrives when your heart needs it most. Trust the gentle ways life speaks. Not every sign is loud. Not every miracle is dramatic. Not every beginning looks like a beginning at first. Sometimes the beginning is simply the moment you decide, I will no longer be cruel to myself. Sometimes it is the moment you say, I am allowed to want more. Sometimes it is the moment you stop chasing what keeps taking your peace. Sometimes it is the moment you place your hand on your heart and say, I am still here and I am worthy of love. That moment is sacred. This moment is sacred. You are sacred. I am safe to begin again. I release the old with love. I welcome the new with an open heart. I trust the path unfolding before me. Let this be the truth you carry from here, not as heavy words, as a gentle anchor. When the old fear returns, come back to this breath. When doubt says nothing is changing, come back to the small proofs. When your mind says you are late, come back to the sunrise. When your heart feels heavy, remember you can put down the old coat again. When you forget your worth, look into the mirror of your own spirit and say, I am learning to love you now. Again and again, return. That is how a life changes. Not by never forgetting, by remembering sooner. Not by never falling, by rising with more kindness. Not by never feeling fear, by letting love answer fear more often. This is the conclusion of the old way, not the end of your story. The old way of chasing, blaming, carrying, shrinking, and doubting is being asked to soften now. It has done what it could. It has brought you this far. But it cannot lead you into the next chapter with the peace your heart deserves. So bless it, release it. Thank it for trying to protect you. Then turn toward the open water. Let your heart be the boat. Let peace be the anchor. Let trust be the current that carries you forward. You do not need to fight the water. You do not need to control every wave. You only need to stay present, stay open, and take the next loving step. The phone is still in your hand. The breath is still in your body. The new chapter is still before you. And now something inside you is softer than it was when this message began. Hold that softness. Protect it. Let it guide you. As you move from this moment into the rest of your day or night, do not rush back into the old noise too quickly. Give your heart a little space. Drink water. Take a breath. Look around and notice one small good thing. Speak kindly to yourself. Let this message become more than something you heard. Let it become something you practice. Practice pausing. Practice trusting. Practice receiving. Practice choosing the next loving step. You do not have to change your whole life in 1 hour. You only have to stop betraying the small truth that has risen inside you. And the truth is this: you are ready for a kinder way to live. You are ready to stop carrying what is not yours. You are ready to see the good that is already growing. You are ready to meet the next chapter with open hands. My dear, let this be your closing blessing. May you trust the timing of your life. May you release the weight that belongs to yesterday. May you receive the good that is already moving toward you. May you walk forward with a heart that is soft, brave, and open. May you remember that you are not late, not forgotten, and not alone. May you feel guided in small ways and large ways. May you let peace become familiar. May you allow joy to return without guilt. May you welcome this new chapter not with fear, but with quiet faith. The door is open. The breath is here. The moment is enough. Everything is unfolding in perfect order.